Hey, hey. Good morning and welcome to another episode of But God. I'm Denicia.
Oh, it's my turn. I'm rolling. Just kidding. You know me.
And we have joining us today Dr. Dominique Simmons. Thank you for joining us today.
Welcome, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Go ahead. You're going to say the same thing I'm going to say, probably.
So, we are excited to have Dr. Dom with us. She is a wealth of information, wealth of knowledge, and we're just excited to first hear about her But God moment.
First of all, I just want to say thank y'all for having me on your podcast. This is an honor always. Uh, don't take it lightly when people ask me to be a part of their platforms because this is you sharing your personal space with me, and so I appreciate it for you all having me be a part of you all's podcast on today. But my but God moment, let's see. When I was thinking today about that, I was like, man, there's so many, but God moments that I've had in my life. And so I had to really, really think about, like what do I want to share? What do I want to, focus on and talk about? And so as I was sharing with y'all earlier, I'm a notes girly. So as I was, thinking about everything, I was taking notes and writing down about my but God moment. One, to stay on task and to make sure that I deliver it properly. So for me, my but God moment would be a moment where I felt like I was not, or a season in life where I felt like I wasn't equipped and qualified, but God chose me anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there was a season in life where I didn't feel qualified for the assignments that God was placing in front of me. I didn't always see myself as a leader. I didn't always see myself as somebody, a speaker, or even someone that people would want to hear my voice or a voice that people needed to hear in the world. And so there was moments where I began to just question, like if my past, my pain, and just the silent parts of my story were disqualifying me or that they disqualified me. So I've walked in a lot of rooms where I felt unprepared, where I felt overlooked, and just even unsure how I got into those spaces. But God had already decided for me that I belonged in those spaces, and I would have never actually placed myself in those spaces. And so when I think about my business and brand that came about, which is Mindset Warrior Coaching, it wasn't born, because I felt ready to do it. Most people, sometimes I feel like they birth brands and birth things because they're like, yes, I want to do this. I'm ready to do this. I was not ready to birth it at all. It didn't even make sense when God was telling me it's time for me to birth this vision because I'm like, first of all, I'm not finished going through, what I'm going through. So how am I gonna, birth it? But like I said, it was birth because God said it was time for me to birth it. Even when I think about my podcast, that I have a story to tell, I didn't feel confident doing that because one, I didn't feel like again people needed to hear my story, or I felt like one that people were gonna judge me based on my story. But God said, I chose you to do this because this is the platform in which people's lives are going to be changed and transformed. And so I truly believe in storytelling through transformation because of that. And it just, all of this started because God wouldn't let me be silent about anything. He said, I'm not going to allow you to silence what I've anointed, right? And
Wow.
so I have, the community of partnerships and just even like I was sharing with you earlier, contracts that that I now walk in didn't come because I chose those roles. Because for me, I'm like, I'm good, 9 to 5, I'm good. I'll do this, whatever.
Right.
But I believe that God aligned my influence with my purpose. And so I feel like when I begin to walk in alignment with that, then I begin to fully understand this is why God has you here, and this is, but God chose you anyway. So my but God moment for me is very simple. I didn't think that I was the right one, but God chose me anyway. So I didn't always feel equipped, but he qualified me while I moved and while I was still being transformed and in transition. And so there was times, like I said, I never felt like my voice was going to be enough. I never felt like my voice was going to be powerful enough, but he turned my voice and my message into something that people need, that they need in this world. And so now, I'm walking into rooms where I never asked to walk in those spaces. I'm carrying assignments that I never asked God to give to me, and I know y'all understand that. but I'm walking in those things, and so I just believe that I'm living proof, as well as other people, that when God calls you to something, that he covers you on what he calls you, he prepares you for what he calls you to, and that he reveals why you were chosen all along. And so for me, it's the but God moment is when I didn't feel qualified, God chose me anyway, and I didn't have a choice but to move forward. So it's my long God moment.
I mean, you can drop the mic on that right there, because the whole time you were talking, I see myself. Because you think my background, everything you said, everything's like, who would want to hear from me? Sometimes you look at my age. Nobody wants to hear from me. I'm old, it's washed up, that type of stuff. And so, God is like, no, no, not. I just want to drive the church van and be left alone.
Right.
I don't like being in front. I want to be sitting in the back in the cut, watching. So
exactly.
that's powerful. Very powerful.
The same thing for me, because, I like to stay in the background, but it's been about since I think 2019 that I'm supposed to be doing the podcast, and I'm like, first of all, I don't like doing all the talking. Second of all, I don't want to be doing video. It's like, but it's just been like one thing after another, and I'm just like, okay. So then, like I said, 2 weeks ago, I was like, okay, you know what? It's time to start being obedient. Let's see, I can't remember who it was. Someone was like, just do it afraid. Just do it. Start doing it.
Just do it.
And I'm like, okay, well, here we go, guys. It's me and you. Let's do it.
And look at what you just said is very inspiring. Mm-hmm. How long have you been doing this so far? With
what?
So far as your your podcast, your mental health business, that type of your therapy, all of that. How long have you been doing it?
So my mental health business, when I launched it, was actually in 2016, whenever I graduated with my doctoral degree, but I put it down. I picked it back up in 2020 during the pandemic.
Okay.
And God gave me the vision of like, hey, make it virtual. So then I began to do virtual services. So I would say, honestly, doing it probably since 2020, and doing it afraid because, I just thought a lot of the time I just leaned on who I know and things that I know to help me. But in this, when you step out and, I'm not a full-time entrepreneur or anything, but when you step out in the entrepreneurial world, it's different. Who you know and what you know. I do believe that it carries you a long way, but when you're doing things in the way that God wants you to do it, those resources, I feel like at some point, sometimes they run out because he wants you to fully lean in on him and do it how he wants to do it. But to answer your question, mental health, I've been doing mental health for a while, since I've been like 20 years old, started as an internship, but my business itself for 5 years. And then my podcast, I actually launched it like in 2022, I believe. So I have 2 different ones, but wasn't consistent because I was fearful that people weren't, but then as it went away, people were like, hey, where is it at? Kind of thing. And then my most recent podcast, it's only been about 1.5 years now.
Okay. But because of your obedience and saying, okay, God, I'm going to go ahead and do it, you're saying multiple doors, things are starting to open up. Things are starting to, as you just moved into it, God is moving. As you move, he's moving.
Yeah.
Like at Ludacris, when I move, you move.
Yeah, just like that.
Not that y'all know nothing about that. God still works.
Never heard it.
So that's awesome that you just, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and do it, and God has already made provision for you and opening doors that you would have never opened on your own.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. And it's been such a blessing. Even just the short time that I've known you, it's just like the couple of times that I've heard you speak, it's just been like, oh my gosh, it's like amazing, just the things that you've overcome and things. So I'm excited.
Very powerful speaker.
Yes.
Like listening to you, man. Like, yeah. There's no words to describe you when you speak.
That makes me feel really good, because I'm sitting here thinking, like, whenever Denise or Pastor Timothy, y'all asked me to do this, I was like, why they want me to do it? There's so many other people, you know. That's how I look at y'all. Like, I really do. I was telling my sister Crystal, I was like, I really do look up to you all, for real, because it's just, you know, both of you, but Pastor Roland, just like your rawness and realness and your ability to just tell your story and be so transparent. That did a lot for me in a season when I was still trying to find the words to share my story. And I think at one point I was trying to polish it up to be so it would be nice and clean for the saints. But then there's many times where I would hear you just share things, and I'm like, oh, that's rough. It ain't polished. But it was good though for me to see. And then even just knowing, you know, some of the things that y'all have shared in your testimony, and just to see the joy and the things that how you all still walk in joy. I admire that a lot, and I just think that y'all are raw and real, and that's for me. As a believer, as a daughter of Christ, that's what I'm attracted to, because I do believe a lot of people, they try to make the walk glitter and gold, and that's not what it is, you know, all the time, or even sometimes at all. So I appreciate y'all. So as much as you think that I'm a powerful speaker and everything else, I feel the same way about you all, and how you just walk out your walk with Christ daily and everything.
I'm gonna tell you
Thank
something,
you.
because when she told me, I said, Dr. Who? And she said, Dominic. I said, I'm not talking to her. Because
He's like, she's too smart.
She's too powerful. I told her that.
No.
Because it's like, she gonna ask me some questions. I'm gonna be sitting there going, No, so it's just, that's the way I see you. I see you, you know, like with all these plaques on the walls, PhD and doctor and all this other stuff, and it's the way you move and the way you carry yourself is a person of authority. Like,
authority.
Yeah. And it says that. That's just wow. I'm stuttering now. I don't even know what to say.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
Why don't you share a little bit of what you do as far as in the mental health industry, and how people can contact you for services?
So I'm a transformational life coach with a background in mental health. And so I'm also a qualified mental health professional, or what you might hear in the world, a QMHP. And so as a transformational life coach, because it's like, oh, this big old title, my focus is helping people to transform their lives. And the thing that I believe in is that, you know, I have the privilege to really walk alongside people in some of their hardest seasons in their lives. So trauma, transitions, and just helping them to, you know, who people might be going through identity struggles, and just moments where people feel so sometimes thrown away or far away from, you know, their purpose in life. And so for me, my focus in that is that I believe people are very resilient, more resilient than what they think. And I believe that with the right support, the right healing, and then, you know, spiritual, because I include that as well, because I'm a believer, understanding what the word of God says about you, that transformation is possible. And so as a transformational coach with the mental health background, I work to combine my mental health training with my spiritual wisdom and practical coaching tools, because I believe that transformation happens when we address, you know, the mind, the body, and the spirit together. So that's pretty much what I do.
So how can people reach you?
So the way that you can reach me is I'm on Instagram at Dr. Dom Speaks. And then on my Facebook, I'm Dominique Dr. Dom Simmons. And then if you were to email me, it's mindsetwarriorcoaching@gmail.com. But those are my Instagram and Facebook are my platforms that you can, get a hold to me. But the email, you can reach out to me as well.
All right. Well, ladies, gentlemen, you heard it. That's how you can reach this young lady, Dr. Dominique. She has a wealth of knowledge and can get you back on track. Yes. Reach out to her.
And what is the name of your podcast? And what days do you post?
So my podcast is I Have a Story to Tell, Liberated Lives. I Have a Story to Tell, and it's only on Spotify. A lot of people are like, why is it only on one platform? Because right now I'm just keeping it simple because I did complex things before, and I'm just waiting until. But it can be found on Spotify, and so I typically post 2 new episodes a month on the 2nd and the 4th, either Saturday or Sunday of the month. And so I'm actually doing some recording this weekend. So new episodes will be dropping on Sunday.
All right. All right.
All right. Well, we're going to have to look at that.
Definitely.
And I definitely appreciate you taking time to speak with us today. And got anything else?
I got nothing.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us. And just remember to keep pushing and be kind.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.